A leader's job is to teach other people how to think. Purposeful leaders are determined, enthusiastic, enterprising, and they have a plan. Let's talk about being a purposeful leader. So as a business owner, whether if you have people working for you or not, you are a leader. And whether that's a leader to your clients or to your employees or your staff or your agents, and you can make a significant impact when you understand that you are a leader and when you understand what leadership is. So the key component to understanding what leadership is simply knowing what is their desire.
What do you want? What do you want?
Whether that be a buyer or a seller or an assistant or an agent that you're leading or a family member, whoever it is in your life that you're leading, understanding what is their desire is the foundation to being a better leader. Having the right people in the right roles then allows for you to have a greater impact. It's a whole heck of a lot easier to be a leader when you have the right people in the right roles. In fact, it doesn't take a lot of leadership skill at all. The best leaders are those that find the right people in the right roles.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to exit the donut.
Because when you find the right people in the right roles, you don't have to amplify yourself in your own leadership skills. As a leader, you want to avoid meeting people in the middle. You want to ask people to come to where you're at. Instead, you want to come to where they're at. So when I say that you as a leader, your job is to meet people where they're at, now that's not a complete sentence. Once you meet them where they're at, then you pull them towards where you want to bring them. Okay. So what I mean by that is if somebody's not performing, you meet them where they're at, then you pull them to performance. If somebody is not having a positive thought about something, meet them in that crappy thought and then move them to a positive. As a leader, you want to be able to provide value to those that you lead. Now, purposeful leaders are determined, enthusiastic, enterprising, and they have a plan. They're aware of their strengths and their teams and understand how the people guide and impact each other. So what I'm going to ask for you is for you to be purposeful, for you to be intentional. Great leaders run into the storm because they know that they'll be in the storm for a shorter period of time. So think about that. If there's a storm in front of you, you can stay over here and sort of avoid it, but guess what? You're gonna be avoiding it the entire time. If you run through the storm, that's the least amount of time that you're gonna be in that storm. So a leader's job is to teach other people how to think. So I want you guys to do this exercise. If you are determining if you are a leader, I want you to look over your shoulder, metaphorically. Is there anybody there? I want you to think about that for a second. Who's there? And then look to say of those that are there, and I want you to be honest. I want you to think of specific people. Don't think of this in general, because if you think about this in general, you're gonna come up with BS answers. I want you to think about this specifically. Who is there? And then ask yourself the question, would they follow you into a storm? Now, the answer to that is, I don't know, or I can't identify anybody, or no, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Yet, it hopefully will bring you some awareness to an opportunity. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, if there are people there that would follow you into a storm, those are your people for you to be able to pour into.